Afternoon and welcome to Lodi Con for our final panel discussion of the afternoon. We have Blake Foster to my immediate right, and then we have Andrew Gray as well, former Power Rangers themselves. And every time I look at the helmets, I wonder how you guys get your heads in those helmets.
A lot of Vaseline.
A lot of Vaseline? Okay, absolutely. That's good. That's good to know. But let's first talk about the way that Power Rangers has continued to be something where fans year after year after year are coming back, and how it really resonated with people. And when you come to these cons, you realize, how much these characters meant to them, and also the merchandise around the entire, franchise.
It's genius. I love coming to all these Comic-Cons because I get to hear everybody's story, and it just shows me, how similar we all are, and we all care about our kids, and we all look up to heroes, right? And my hero is my Heavenly Father. And when people come up to my table and they freak out, oh my gosh, you're my hero, and I'll bring my business partner or somebody who's helping me, they'll be like, that's just wild that they look at people like that. And I was like, it's a privilege. I can understand if I met my hero, I'd be like, oh my gosh, Jesus, so I get it, right? And we all are heroes. So it's good to meet everyday heroes.
Well said, well said. I told so many people that I met this morning, doing Power Rangers at such a young age really showed me now how much of a fan I was of the show back then. Literally getting off the school bus, running home, watching Power Rangers, and then getting a chance to work with them. So I was a fan at one point. I know what it was like. I'm still a fan. I still watch Power Rangers with my son, but it's just something that resonated so well with me because I was a kid. So that's why we do the shows. We do it for you guys. We do it. We want to see you guys' reactions. We want to see that stuff. So we enjoy it and we love it and we continue to do it.
And Blake, looking at your career specifically, you were a child actor. You came through. And, one thing I thought was an interesting comment you made at one point was you were one take Blake.
Yep, sure was. I don't know. I think it's just because my mom had me so well prepared on set. Getting there, doing the acting wasn't the hard part for me. It was not freaking out that I was working with Jason David Frank or Johnny Young Bosch. So me being a 12-year-old, the attention span of a child is very far-fetched. I could be at one point during the set, I could be really good, and then when I get to backstage with them, I turn into a kid that just wants to get into mischief and trouble. So yeah, I was so well prepared that it did become a trending thing where I would get on set and I'd have my lines prepared so well that we would do the first take and then shoot. One of the directors behind there would be like, cut, take, moving on. And I would be like, what? And then it just happened where they started calling me One Take Blake. So that's shout out to my moms though. That's my mom's because of it.
And Andrew, how about for you for the acting? Maybe you are one.
Many takes.
Okay, many takes.
Many
All right.
takes. What's my line again? Oh, it's morphin' time. That's what it is.
And your career, has morphed into a modeling career. How has auditioning for acting and auditioning for a modeling gig, how is it similar? How is it dissimilar?
So boring. Oh my goodness. It's like just stand there and look pretty. Yeah, it's so boring. Acting is great because you get to create something that is compelling and present it in a place where all eyes are on you, and it's you get to go out there and feel nerves. You get to be nervous. You can't really anticipate if you're going to get it or not. And then even after the audition, I sucked, or that was amazing, or you go up and down and you just have to let it go. But with modeling, you're just profiles and profile. But I would say the best part about it though is I've done a lot of high fashion modeling. So Versace, Dior, and Gucci. So you're traveling to a different country. I think that's the best part of it, where you get to meet new culture, eat their food, be on set with these incredible designers and photographers and creatives, I guess is the word. So that's the most fun for it. But I actually started my career modeling. I started that and was modeling for probably 10 years before I even got into acting.
Is having worked for a series like Power Rangers, which is Japanese anime to begin with, and then moving over to an American audience, is it different when in different countries they react to the franchise a little bit differently when they know what you did beforehand for either of you guys?
I think if you're a true Power Ranger fan, it goes back to the Super Sentai. So they're going to obviously watch that and then see what they get the ideas from for the American show. Because when I was watching Power Rangers before I was on the show, I could always tell the different footages. I'd be like, oh, that's not American footage, that's Sentai footage. And that's when I really started watching Sentai and stuff like that. So I think their inspiration comes from that. And one thing that I held with me for a long time, Jason David Frank told me, was that's why there was never your character brought back. There was no Sentai footage of Justin. So that's why they never did anything with it. So,
And when you go on, an acting audition, and as Andrew, you said, you're like, hey, I nailed it, or hey, I did a crap job. Is there times where you think, oh, you know what, I blew that audition, and they call you back?
Those are the ones you book. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like when I was in Power Rangers, I was like, what was I doing in there? You got it. No way. I think that's where you let loose. You start improvising. You get outside of the box you created, and I think that's where all the nerves come from, because you got outside of that box. I guess fortune favors the bold, and you took a risk, and it worked out. So kids, take risks, leaps of faith.
I'm going to agree on that, because I auditioned for this show called Walker, Texas Ranger back in the day. And I went in there, and my mom had me so well prepared that I didn't go in with a script. And it got somehow in the conversation, and I lost track of what was going on, and I just improvised. And I was like, damn, I left out of there. I was like, I'm not getting that. And then the agent called me, they're like, you booked it. I was like, he's right, yeah. Sometimes when you're like that in the situation, if you can improvise and they can see that, they'll be like, oh, wow, he's a good actor.
Well, and working with Chuck Norris as well. What was that like? I mean, he's obviously icon in a certain sense, and just being able to be a part of someone who has built their career and going, hey, I'm working with that guy. Yeah,
the craziest part about working with Chuck, though, was my mom tested for him for her black belt back in the 70s. Wow. So she blew out her knee, her meniscus in the test, so she never got her black belt. But Chuck remembers her because it was his student. So when we got on set to film Walker, Texas Ranger, he looked over and called her by her maiden name. He was like, Belasco, what are you doing here? And she was like, this is my son. He was like, no way, what a small world. And it was just pretty cool. Yeah, we connected really well. So,
hope he doesn't break his knee on set.
Right? Not me. Shoot. I was good.
Is there certain things that you got from, maybe it was a mentor, maybe it was an acting coach, that you've taken to today, both of you guys?
Don't overthink it.
Yeah, I just go with the model, stay humble or get humbled. That's my new motto in life. So I don't have a mentor or an acting coach. I just stay passionate about myself and what I want to achieve in life. So,
and have fun. And slow down. My dad would say this all the time. He's like, son, you're a million miles, just your go, go, go. And I get it. But slow down. It's like being on the freeway. If you don't slow down, you're going to miss your exit. You don't want to miss your exit, because then you're going to have to do all this and do all that. Just do it right the first time. Do it right the first time, so you don't have to go back and do it over and over and over again. I never listened to him, but, it makes sense now.
Any questions out there in the audience for our two actors out here about acting, about Power Rangers, about your favorite show? Yeah, in the black.
So that's how I got Power Rangers, actually. There was no audition process for me. I was literally filming an independent film. I had just tested at 11 years old for my first degree black belt after failing my black belt test 4 times. So it wasn't something where it was given to me. I really had to work for that test. Fast forward years later, I'm a 4th degree black belt in the same style as Chuck Norris, Tong Sudo, and I just found out that I have open invitation to go to his ranch before he passes to test for my 5th degree, which I'm probably going to do. The only thing is you got to stay at his ranch for like a month or 2. I think it's like 60 days with the test. But so that, and then I transitioned into MMA. I'm fighting November 30th out in Los Angeles, and I'm a purple belt in jiu-jitsu now. So
that's hard. What if this? You got to tell me. Once you go to his ranch, do you guys all work out on Total gyms? He's gonna be like,
I don't know. I don't know what it is, because
gym.
he keeps it very private, and there's only a selected amount. I think he only invites like 20 people for that test. But in order to test for that lineage and that style of Tong Sudo, he would be the person I would want to test for. There's a couple other grandmasters that I would want to test in front of, but for him, that would be like iconic because my mom did it. And then I can say that joke, hey, I'm not going to break my knee like my mom. I'm not going to blow out my knee like my mom did. But yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, I love martial arts. I'm a big believer in it. My son, he's 11. He's ranked like number 2 in California for jiu-jitsu. We train every single day together.
How did the MMA evolve for you?
It was very easy because Tong Sudo is a very creative style of martial arts. It's like, I don't know if you watch UFC these days, but like Michael Venom Page, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, they're very explosive with their kicks and stuff. Very similar to Taekwondo martial arts. And then transitioning into like Muay Thai and stuff. I've been doing stand-up fighting my whole life. It was very easy for me to adapt it. The ground game is what really bit me, and it really humbled me, and that's why I go with that, because I'm 230 pounds, my professor's 170, and in jiu-jitsu, that means nothing because I still haven't in 4 years tapped him out. So it just goes to show it's all about technique in jiu-jitsu, and it's the coolest thing that I've ever put myself through, and starting at a white belt again. So I had to go back through white belt, blue belt, purple belt, where I'm at now. But stay humble, get humbled. It's just the model that I live by now. So.
And also, I got to think the show, the Power Rangers, was kind of a physical, demanding show in one way or the other for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, when I did Power Rangers, I told them straight up, I was like, look, I need to be able to do all my own stunts. I want to, if there's a chance for me to fight 10 bad guys, I want to do it. I don't want, and they couldn't implement a kid, obviously. There was no stunt actors that were going to do it, but.
How old were you when you did that?
I was 12.
That's such a 12-year-old's request. I do all my stunts.
Yeah, I told him straight
that
up.
BMX bike after that, put pegs on it, it's mine. You know,
I'm
like,
doing,
totally,
what did you just say the other day? What did you just say right now?
bunny hop?
Bunny
Yeah.
hop. Bunny hop.
doing
the bike.
all my stunts.
Yeah. But, I mean, I was just a
Like,
kid.
okay,
I was a kid literally living the dream. I was 12 years old that got off the school bus to run home to watch Power Rangers. And then the next thing I knew, I'm working with Jason David Frank and all these guys shifting into turbo. It's crazy.
Life happens that fast.
Fast. We're still not slowed down from it, though.
And Andrew, for you, what was the experience like for you on the Power Rangers?
It was extraordinary. It was extraordinary. The amount of screen time that we got as actors, consistent, 6 days a week, is more than some actors get in their whole career. To shoot a series, then shoot movies with it, they're all intertied in. Was a great experience. It was the first time me ever shooting a project that they did it completely non-linearly. We didn't know what we're shooting, when we're shooting. We just had to trust, so we had to let go of a lot of things, which actually helped us move forward with it. But it was just a privilege because we got to do pyrotechnics and green screen. And since it was the 20th anniversary, we had all these cameos come in. So I got to relive my childhood by, this person's going to be on set tomorrow. And it was amazing. And we got to shoot that in New Zealand. It's amazing. What's wrong with you, man? Timing. You know? God. Yeah. It was amazing.
I think you did okay, though. I mean,
He's a stud.
there you go. Any other questions from them? That you can ask Dad anything right here.
He wanted to sit at the panel. He wanted everybody to ask him questions.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we can ask him questions, and
He'll be here soon enough, man.
absolutely.
Title belt.
In the back, right there.
Get humbled. Yep. I feel like I think my dad instilled that in me. My parents instilled that in me. I've always been a humble person. Even when I was a kid, I wasn't that arrogant kid like, I'm a Power Ranger, get out of here type of deal. I was never that way. I was always embracive, and I was always supportive and passionate about everything in life that I did, what I'm instilling in him. So, yeah, and when I met my coach 4 years ago, when I had my first MMA fight, I was like, this is where I need to be. This is where my family needs to be. So I tell everybody at every show, I'm like, hey, if you don't do martial arts, find a martial arts gym that's around you. Find an MMA gym. Find something that you can do, especially if you have kids, do it together, because it's the most rewarding thing for you and your children to do together. And it gets you in shape, and it's just fun. I love cracking pads. I see you doing it now, too. So I'm trying to get this guy a fight. I want him to fight. I want to see him get out there. So it's just something that I'm going to continue to do. And being humble is the best thing. You meet some actors these days, and they're very, very, not humble. And it's just so, ew. It's like, dude, that's who you really are? Gross. See ya.
I started semi-professionally boxing about 4 years ago, and talk about being humbled. You'll go in the ring fit, thinking you're fit, but there's a difference between being in shape and fighting shape. I mean, after 3 rounds, 99% of people, or first round, are completely gas puking, spinning, don't know which way is up or down. So yeah, it's very humbling when it just gets to that.
I tell all my friends that come in the gym, because a lot of my friends are bodybuilders, and they're like, yeah, I'll come in there and I'll just beat everybody up. I was like, okay, come. 20 minutes into the workout, they're hitting the trash can, throwing up. I'm like, see, there's a different type of cardio. It's different. You can't just get out there and run. You're really having to use everything. So,
And going off of what Blake was saying, the camaraderie when you're doing something like that. I've been in football, I was in wrestling in high school, college, that kind of stuff. Boxing, jiu-jitsu is the most bonding that I've ever had. I mean, you were literally bleeding on each other, like, come on, man, and your face exploded.
Sweating with other men rolling on the floor.
And then you hug it out at the end.
Yeah, and then the cool thing is, like, honestly, I feel like that since I've been doing it for 5 years now, I've met a lot of different other fellow gym owners and stuff, and every gym, I will say, is pretty much the same. They're very supportive. It's like one big family for us. I love everybody at our gym, and I mean, I could trust anybody with my kid at the gym. It's just one big family, and the whole jiu-jitsu community is like that. So find yourself an MMA gym, jiu-jitsu gym, if that's what you want to do. Go have fun, especially you guys right here. How old are you? How old are you? 14? 10? Yeah.
Yep.
That's that age, perfect timing, yeah.
You're gonna get a couple future MMA, fighters right
You
here.
never know, man.
You never know.
You see the world these days. UFC is...
I trust
There's
the guys
somebody-
I fight with on a daily basis more than friends I've had for 25 years.
Facts.
100%. Yeah. I'm like, when S goes down, you want to look to the right and the left and have people there. Yeah. Where metaphorically in your life, you're like, oh, I thought these people might ride or dies. And you're like, hold the line. And you look to the right. Where the is everybody? Yeah. Everybody's gone. But I know that my gladiator brothers, they'd be like, let's go. Yeah. They're going to show up for sure. Anyway, it's good to have for your whole life.
Yeah, in the black.
Nice. Yeah. Black belt? Yes, sir. There you go. What style? First degree. No, what style? Kodokan. Okay. Nice. American tradition. Nice.
But yeah, just back then you were that inspiring to the kid. I'm sure a bunch of kids walk up and say, I did karate because you were
Yep.
too.
Facts.
So the fact that you still say that.
Yeah. I'm just a big believer in, like, as I get older, I don't want to be the dad that can't do stuff with my kid. I want to be able to, if you don't use it, you lose it type of deal. So I want to be active as possible, long as possible, and it's keeping me healthy. It keeps me in shape. There's so many benefits to it. So yeah, that's what I preach all day long. But I appreciate that.
My dad was next to me watching me do karate, so I'm sure you're there for them.
Oh yeah.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. And then like also, martial arts is just so good for the soul. It takes them away from video games, takes them outside of their comfort zone. It teaches them respect and boundaries and levels of things that every kid should have instilled in them. So,
And the little things, like you focus. Has anybody been focusing on the breathing? No, because it's natural, right? But it's not natural when you're fighting. Yeah. So you really need to just focus on your breath, and it just slows you down, allows you to kind of zoom out. It's incredible.
slow down.
And let's say you have a long day, and you're like, I can't go to the gym because I don't have the energy. You're right. It's probably not going to give you energy when you leave, but 100% of the time, it is going to relieve all your stress. You're going to get it all out there. You don't have to carry it with you. That's amazing.
And then there's those moments when you don't go to the gym and you force yourself to go to the gym, and then after you leave the gym, you're like, damn, I feel good. I went to the gym.
No one's ever left and be like, that was a stupid idea today. Getting to go to the gym and sweating. No, you're like, this is amazing. Yeah. You're on your way home like, I'm going to eat some ice cream when I get home.
Well, let's give a hand for Blake and Andrew here this afternoon. You can learn more cardio tricks and also some MMA and boxing tips as well on their booths back in the main hall. And they'll be here till 5. So thank you guys.
This is the last thing I would like to say for kids, adults, and everybody. Don't wait for permission to be awesome. If you're a guitarist, start the band. Start writing the lyrics and say, sing it. If not, I'll sing it. Next, start auditioning people for your band. For your band. and then make a Megazord together as one. Let's
Great advice. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Great question. You have a killer voice.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I try. Oh, you want to?
That's why I don't have her.
Oh.
Because I keep leaving them.